Welcome to Little Birdie TV. I'm your host, Scoot, and I'm joined by Dogga Mike Caridi. We're going to talk US Open Golf. How are you, Dogga?
Excellent, mate. Looking forward to a very big major week.
Birds are chirping up at Orange. Nick Tedeschi joins us, fresh in his Masters apparel. Tell you what, you'd just be wearing that to K-Fry. There wouldn't be a place or an establishment that wouldn't know that you've been the Masters in Orange, I would have thought.
Well, there aren't many establishments I go to other than K-Fry Scooty, so they're certainly well aware there. Up and about. You know, birds are chirping, I'm chirping. It's major week.
Tell you what, there's been plenty happening. It feels like golf's on the front page, or every page I sort of look, every third tweet is all about Liv and PGA merger. Tell you what wasn't on my bingo card, Dogga. I was similar thoughts to Cam Smith, really. Cam woke up, thought it was a joke. I think nearly everyone had the same sort of thing. It was like, is this April what? What's going on?
Oh, mate. I was the same. We recorded our podcast last Tuesday night, and then I went to bed quite late, woke up about 6 a.m. and heard the 3AW news here in Melbourne saying Liv and PGA Tour have merged. And I'm like, no, this bloke's thinking of something completely different. He's mucked that up. He's got no idea about golf. And I was shot out of bed and went to Twitter and went, oh, there you go. New news.
It's a great thing for golf. What do you think, Nick Tedeschi? Personal interest aside.
I love it for a lot of reasons. I was always pretty pro the Live Tour just for seeing quality golf around the world, particularly Australia. We saw that in Adelaide. Look, I think the hypocrisy of the PGA Tour certainly has shown up, and I think they've got a lot of ground to make up with for a term that's been used around making players whole. I think it was possibly fast forwarded a little bit by John Rahm. There's rumours going that John Rahm was on the verge of defecting after the US Open, so that would have been a fairly big news. And interestingly, Jay Monahan coincidentally off duty, gets sick. Is he suffer from a medical condition, or has he taken a bag of cash and is going away quietly? We'll never hear from him again, and I get some puppets in place for him. So I think anyone on the PGA Tour side, and regardless of who you support, anyone who thinks the PGA Tour came out of this with equal powers is off their head. The money is where the power is, and a 2 weeks since already been shown.
Little Birdie told me that could be a heart condition, so pretty serious health issue there. And the male, I think, is pretty spot on. So hopefully he recovers in all seriousness. But I think Rory's sort of eating his hat, and he looks like the sacrificial lamb, as he sort of said himself. But the Canadian Open was just a beauty, a nice little entree, and it's sort of put Canada back on the map as well. The 70-foot putt to win from Nick Taylor, Rory's choke. It just seems to be a fait accompli. He sort of looked in contention, but I woke up on Monday morning and where's Rory? Gone missing again. And then just when you thought all the action had happened, then the security guard body slams Adam Hadwin. So it was an absolute pisser. And then I think the tongues are wagging, and I don't think golf's ever been so sexy or so hot leading into a major. This is what dreams are made of, Dogga.
It is, yeah. Look, all the eyeballs doesn't hurt. I'm probably not necessarily super aligned with Toprope. I don't know that the new world, whatever it looks like, which we don't know, I'm not super confident Australia's going to get anything moving forward, because that's just how it always seems to shake out. We always get the rough end of the stick. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's good to have more people watching. I think the best playing the best again can't be bad. That's exactly what we want to see. I don't want to see an event where I've got to watch John Rahm one week and watch Cam Smith the next week. That doesn't work for me. So I think that more we can get these guys playing outside of majors, the better.
I disagree with that. I think you can't ignore a success story like the Adelaide Live event. They can't snub it. I'd be betting.
The Saudis aren't spending $3 billion to make sure people in Adelaide can do shoeies, mate. I promise you. They're not fussed about that. I agree that the PGA Tour and them need to get together and figure out a way to take golf to the world. I'm just not gonna buy in until I see it.
Okay, the stage is set. Let's talk about this week. Brooks is in the zone. He's chasing his sixth major. I tried to tell you boys on the last show. I think I was the Lone Ranger and the only one that thought the $27 or $26 was a good bet. He's a complete alpha. If you've seen any of his press conferences this week, he's just a different player to the person that we saw in the Full Swing, the documentaries where he had, I don't know, it's like he was suffering a mental illness, or he had the flats bad, but there's no one hotter than Brooks at the moment. But LA Country Club, Dogga, it looks an absolute doozy to me. It's undulating. It's sort of like Augusta. There's some blind holes. The rough is very thick, which is completely opposite to Augusta. We sort of said it before on the last couple of shows. There's not really no penalty if you land in the rough at Augusta, but it's thick and nightmare stuff. How good are when they drop the ball on Twitter and everyone sees how far it goes in, but these are diabolical. So tell us your read on LA Country Club.
Yeah, LA Country Club, old style course, so like one that I think that everyone will really appreciate looking at. I think a lot of people, especially the Aussies, will look at it and see, a little bit of reminiscent of the Aussie sandbelt, something that sort of they can see the ball rolling on the ground, which is what they want. Redone or cleaned up was a George Thomas course from 1927, redone 2020 or something around there. So not long ago anyway, not 3 years ago. Jeff Shackelford and Hans redid it. Brought back in some pots that sort of were a bit more the olden style, bit frayed edges. But like you said, this week, it's really going to be about keeping out of the rough, because if you're in the rough, it's going to be an automatic sideways chip by the looks of it. But also it's going to be a bit about thinking. So, I've heard a lot of people, Brooks in his press conference talked about it yesterday, standing on the green and looking back down the fairway and trying to figure out where he wants to be for best positions. That's going to be where it's going to be won this week. It's going to be the guys that can think their way through the course, be in the right spots for the right angles. Really a thinking man's course, a lot like Augusta when it comes to thinking for your spots. But again, like you said, Augusta doesn't have rough like this. So if you bomb one down there and sort of get it in a spot, you can still play. Where here, you won't be able to do that.
Weather looks all clear, so we'll skip through that. It looks like minimal wind and some overcast, but mainly sunny conditions throughout the week. Speaking of that, I guess course profile, which are the stats that matter? This might be one for you, Toprope. Obviously, Scheffler's been really, really good at tee to green, but there's even talk he's going to take a new putter into a major. I don't know if you've got a stat for me about new putters, but as good as Scheffler is tee to green, that scares the life out of me. Someone that's got a brand new one putting as badly as he has.
Yeah, I don't have a stat for you on brand new ones, but I'm going to hazard a guess and say that they lose 100% of the time. But putting is going to be probably as least important as it ever is. Yeah, regular PGA Tour tend to kind of make up about 28% of strokes gained. It's down to about 21% this week. To me, this is going to be one off the tee. So strokes gained off the tee, total driving, a bit of distance in there as well, but and kind of your strokes gained approach. You in terms of the strokes gained metrics, the approach shot's going to be absolutely critical here. Greens and regular proximity important. There's big, strangely shaped, undulating greens are going to be difficult. And this is the first course since 1947 US Open to have 5 par 3s. So I think you're going to have to play well on par 3s. But like Dogga said, this is a thinking man's course. I think Gil Hans, when he was asked about what kind of player will win here, the first word he said was cerebral. So I think you're just really going to need to be able to think your way through. And while there are absolutely natural similarities to Augusta, what the difference is that no one has course experience here. You've got Max Homer and Patrick Cantlay who played here as amateurs. You've got no doubt players who have had rounds here. This is not a course where you play big time tournaments. You often see the Masters having 5 years experience. Is a pretty important. Everyone's coming in here pretty blind. So in terms of course correlations as well, I'm looking at some of the Gil Hans designs that we've seen over the US Open, particularly 2022, 2020, Northern Trust 2020, BMW 2019, but the two that really kind of stand out, Augusta National and Riviera. George Thomas designed Riviera as well. Format Riviera, I think, will be a pretty good guide here. Format Riviera and Augusta tend to hold up, so I kind of say a big link between those three.
Maybe ball in the right spot, and I guess a heavy penalty if you miss the fairway when you're thinking about Augusta from, I guess, my mug take or trying to sum up what you're talking about there. Let's have a quick look at the winner market here. I think the winner's going to come from the top 12 chances. I know you guys are going to spec roughies, but I've just got this theory. We just see the same names at the top of the leaderboard, and for me, major championships are won between the years, and you need a player that's up and going, that suits the course, that's full of confidence and minimal head noise. So based on what you said, tee to green, I can see why Scott Scheffler is 725. I think he's been about 850 in, so he's very popular here. And if putting doesn't matter as much, maybe you can get away with it. John Rahm's $10, Brooks Koepka $12, Victor Hovland $16, Rory McIlroy $17, Patrick Cantlay $20, Xander at $21, Colin Morikawa $23, Jordan Spieth $23, Cam Smith $29, Tyrrell Hatton $29, and as you said, Max Homa is probably the local hope or the guy that knows the course best at $34. So that's the chances that I'll sort of round out. Interesting gear change on Matt Fitzpatrick. I see him on the screen there at $41. He's got the braces off. I tell you what, losing all your metal mouth, I think it was a big thing when you're a sort of 17, 18-year-old kid. I think you'd go from probably benchmark 70s to chasing the Group 2s or Group 1 fillies. So I think Matt Fitzpatrick could be an absolute bolter with the clean fangs. Let's go to the top.
If he's out chasing the Group 2, Group 1 fillies, I think that's a massive distraction. So factory against in the models.
I'll tell you what, that's when I just think it's a missed opportunity that we haven't gone to the US Open. You got LA, we could be sitting at the Mondrian in West Hollywood. We could be heading down to the bungalow at Santa Monica. This is just an absolute no. It's a foot foul, really. We should have just absolutely scooped the pool here and jetted into LA, and it would have been one of the cheapest majors to go and have a look at. So
I'm not sure why we even came home. A couple of months there.
Oh, let's go to the top of the market. Scott Scheffler. Reasons for and against. Have you guys got anything to add? Maybe you first here, Dogga.
Yeah, look, I'm going to sort of apologise. He's going to be my pick. He's the favourite. I hate picking the favourite. It was really, when you look at the numbers, him and Rahm are clearly the top two in the market for me. Scheffler's biggest issue has been his putter. You just mentioned it then, Scoot. He's looking to change putters this week. 2 tournaments ago, he lost 2 shots around with his putter. And last tournament, he finished, he lost 1 shot around, or the other way around, per round. He finished 3rd in both events. If the bloke can get his putter to even just be tour average for the week, he wins. And I'm pretty confident he can. One of the stats that I looked at, Toprope, was 3-putt avoidance. Not massive greens, but 3-putt avoidance is something that tells me the guy can lag the putts. And he ranks right up in the top 4 or 5. So, yeah, he's going to be my man this week, Scotty.
Interesting that he's gone for the Scotty Cameron Newport 2 Plus. So that's the putter that Tiger had so much success with. And there's been a lot of videos floating around on Twitter with Scheffler talking to Tiger about divots, and I don't know whether he's been coaching him or getting into his head, but definitely could take some tricks out of the Tiger playbook. But it's interesting that he's gone for that putter design. You're backing or laying Scheffler top rope? Sounds like a lay.
I can't disagree with Dogga or anyone else tipping him. He leads the tour in stroke gained approach, leads in greens in reg, leads at stroke gained off the seat, 2nd in total driving. Obviously won a Masters, top 10 this year, top 12 in the last 2 Genesis. And I kind of look at, on the US Open, kind of 5 profiles that you want to tick everyone. Top 30 in the world, age 23 to 33, previous top 25 in the US Open, top 10 this year, top 7 on the West Coast. It ticks every box. Like, I can't argue with the price. I'm not backing him, but I can't argue with the price. Like, it's if the putter comes on, he's going to be right in the mix.
John Rahm's the next one. He's been mooted as the guy that sort of tipped the final card to fall. He was touted to go join Liv or the next one off the rank, and now all of a sudden the tours have merged. So been not happy with all the Rory press and some of the other Cantlay stories, but John Rahm, is he in the right headspace to win top rope?
Yeah, he's got Fireball written all over him, doesn't he? John Rahm. Now look at the price. I kind of have him and Scheffler marked the same price. I think the price I would have something on John Rahm here. So the 2 correlations for me are Augusta and Riviera. He won both this year. So, 3rd in stroke gained approach, 3rd in greens in reg, leads the tour in pass rate performance, which I think will be super important. Top 12 in total driving distance. Yeah, I like Rahm this week at the price. I think his putting is generally underrated, and he does putt well in majors. He's made 15 straight cuts, which shouldn't be an issue this week. But I like the John Rahm. We haven't seen much from him since he played the week after the Masters either. I think he needed a little bit of a freshen up, and I'm kind of happy to come into Rahm. And look, he has played particularly well on the West Coast, and there's certainly a guy that I'm looking for there. And of course, he won at Torrey Pines, and I think lives in San Diego, so not quite a home game, but pretty close.
I've already taken the $14 Brooks Koepka. Tell me why you're against him, Dogga.
Really hard to say why I'm against him outside of the fact that not many go back-to-back in majors. That's it. That's literally the only pot I have on him. But honestly, he could have already won 2 of them this year. So, look, everything stacks up for him. He's a bloke that is not going to be taking super-duper risks and going crazy. He's going to be one that's going to think his way through it. He's got all the stats. We know he lifts massively for majors. He'll be right up there. You'd be shocked if he's not in the top 10 by the end of the week.
Victor Hovland's a guy I think that the market is probably missing as well. I think I've taken $21 about Hovland. I think he's one of your fancies, Nick Tedeschi.
Yeah, played so well in the last 3 majors. He's finished top 7 in each of those. He was brilliant at the Masters, led to a couple of rounds out there. He finished 4th at the Genesis last year. So he does have form on the West Coast. They're probably knocking. There's not so much form there this year, but tremendous with his lines. Underrated off the tee, 7th on tour in strokes gained off the tee, 6th in total driving. 10th in strokes gained approach. Has a great little profile for this week. I think at the price, he is a great bet. And kind of recently, the US Open has favoured first-time major wins, and it has favoured those who have been knocking on the door in majors, and Hovland ticks both those boxes. So, yeah, very keen on Victor Hovland this week at the Russell.
Always a pot with him is whether the wedges are going to be on. I know he's been massively improved on it, and he obviously won his last start. So he's definitely heading in the right direction. I won't be backing him this week. I'm just still a bit nervous with the thought of him having to be chipping from the tight lies around the greens and anything that's sort of coming out of the rough.
The monkey's firmly off the back with Rory, and hopefully he can put some of this live PGA stuff to the back burner. He was in contention in Canada, as we sort of said at the start of the show. How could anyone in their right mind take $17 about this guy? Can anyone make a case for him?
No, I mean, it wouldn't absolutely shock me to see him up there. The part that I haven't seen in Rory in a while is the killer. And that's what you want. Like that's the key to winning these big things. So you look at Brooks, he's a killer. Look at Rory, he doesn't have a killer. Like you said last week, I mean, finished even par at the Canadian Open. He should have just slaughtered them, but didn't do it. So this week, am I expecting to see the killer come out? No, I reckon he's knackered. I reckon he's just tired. And I just think this week will be another one of those ones where he plays a solid week, top 10, top 15, move on. Yeah.
I also don't think he has a particularly strong record in courses that we win with a single digit under par score. I think he kind of runs away with them when he wins tournaments. I'm not sure these firm and fast conditions are going to particularly suit Rory. And like you say, I think he's a complete milk drinker these days. So hard pass.
His wedge game just looks sick, like from sort of 100, 120 out. He looks a mile off the ball there, and from everything I read and see about this course, that needs to be completely on. Patrick Cantlay, a little bit quiet through the press in the last couple of weeks. The slow play might suit him here.
Yeah, that's the tip. It's going to be with the way that the course sets up and just the size of the paddock that they're playing on. It is going to be reasonably slower rounds, which will suit him. But again, he's the same as Xander and the same as Rory. I really want to see him throttle one of these things, but yeah, I've been burnt so many times with the bloke being right in contention, being right in the right spot, doing all the right things through 3 rounds, and then just not putting them away. And again, I just as much as I like him on that side of the world and that side of the US, I can't have him this week.
What a beautiful segue into Xander Schauffele. Burnt so many times, looms up, meow.
Complete cat, Xander. Agree with everything Dogga said about Cantlay and reiterate Xander. Obviously performs well in majors, but never wins. Has some reasonable form around Riviera, but I don't think he's going as well as he has in previous years, and he couldn't win them then. So, hard pass on Xander. I think he's major unders. He'd be one of the guys at the kind of top 12 and 15 players that I'd be looking at lay to your eyes. But
Colin Morikawa was one of my sort of second and third picks in the PGA Championship. I thought he was heavily disappointing. He did okay at Augusta. I thought he'd be suited last time. Toprope, you seem to fancy his chances to bounce back here. Tell us why.
Yeah, like him. Top 10 at the last 2 Masters, top 6 at the last 2 Genesis. But he's got 2 majors under his belt. He's one of those on the West Coast, Olympic Club in San Francisco. He's played 3 West Coast majors, T35 in his first ever, and then T4 at Torrey Pines, and a win at the Olympic Club. So, it ticks a lot of boxes for me. I don't know that he's going as well as he has in previous times, so that's my concern about him. Second strokes gain approach, 8th in greens and regular, so it's starting to come good there. Performance of tee is the big worry for me. So, but I think at the price, I'll definitely have something.
Just watch his back, mate. Supposedly back's not good at all. Pegging it up on the ground in quite an awkward fashion. And he obviously withdrew last start at Memorial, so just be wary. I mean, normally it's be wary of the injured golfer because they come good and fight through, so maybe that's what he's going to do. But yeah, that's for me the only thing against him I'm a bit concerned on.
He's usually one of mine, but he's been quite lackluster, I'd say, since Augusta, and the underlying back issue could explain it. Jordan Spieth said he was absolutely buggered, but I think he's since he's come out and said that at the Masters, I think he's been playing okay golf and sneaking under the radar. Do you guys give him any chance? And this is probably a thinking man's course, and he sets up well at Augusta, so instinctively I think this would be a course that suits him.
Yeah, I'm probably seeing him as someone that, again, probably just not in the right form. Just a little bit. There's a few of them that are right around that mark, that if they're on their best can certainly pinch it. They're not showing that form at the moment, so to think that they're going to tie 4 of them together against these guys that are in form, I just probably don't see him getting there. They're definitely, like you said, Scoot, though, all the stats that he has, that they're definitely suited here.
Cam Smith, really deadly with his wedges. His short game's pretty phenomenal. Is that going to be a big advantage here with the way that the rough is sort of set up? He's great with his irons, but he's got a propensity to hit it in the wrong spot off the tee, which is probably the chink in his armour. But after seeing him at the PGA Championship, I thought he's not far from his best. The difference between him at the Masters and then him in the PGA Championship at the Oak Hill course, I thought he was much improved. What did you think, Toprope?
Yeah, I think he's definitely on the improve, but I just don't think this course suits. I know there's some sandbelt correlations, but it's deadly if you missed off the tee. He's absolutely deadly. The wide fairways will no doubt suit. I think he's an intelligent golfer, but I can't have him at the price. I've got form at Augusta, obviously, which helps, but yeah, I'm going to pass on Cam Smith this one.
Tyrrell Hatton, you've got an open relationship. Your wife's very understanding. He's the next in the market. He usually sort of hovers around 40, 50s, but he's well found here around the $30 quote here. He was okay at Canada, bit of a yo-yo sort of round from him, shot some really good scores, but couldn't put 4 rounds together to take it out. Tell us why you haven't kicked him out of bed yet.
Yeah, I'm very close to getting an apprehended violence order against him because it's getting quite abusive at the moment. But look, I'm on Tyrrell this week. Shocked. Obviously hasn't shocked you before, but he's sneakily playing very, very well. 11th strokes end off the tee, 12th total driving, very good scramble, 13th scrambling. Not putting it all together, that's the worry, but kind of ticks 4 of those 5 boxes I mentioned earlier. Only thing he kind of hasn't really got in the shoes in the major top 10, but sneaking under the radar for mine, probably about the right price, but I can't let Tyrrell go around with having something on, so I'll be on.
Sort of one of those mental health bets by the sound of it, Toprope. But yeah, you look through his past sort of 6 tournaments, he's there, but as Dogga said, he just doesn't quite have the killer. Max Homer's an interesting one. He grew up playing on the sort of the par 3 style courses. I was impressed to see, he's a bit patchy at Augusta, but he's definitely won the local chances here and loves sort of the thinking challenge and seems to be a pretty relaxed sort of customer when it comes to golf. And he's definitely someone that I could sort of spec $40 into $34. There's other people with the same line of thought, and obviously everyone's burnt. It's got that 61 that he shot here once upon a time burnt into their memory bank. Dogga, any lean or push for him? I know he's generally won a Toprope, so I'm a little bit surprised that he hasn't found him. But what's your take on a bit of an unbiased view?
Yeah, look, I love Max. I think he's one of the best characters on tour, and he just that's why people sort of really find resonation with him. For me, I think a lot of people have been reading a lot of data, and I think they've all seen that 61 or what he has a course record here. He's just not playing good golf. Like, he's just not. So for a bloke who's never played well in a major, who's not playing good golf, I can't have him at all. He's the one bloke I said will say this week cannot win. But I know people will look at it and say he loves it here. Everything's going for him in the vibes category, but I don't know that the vibes are going to get him across the line for 4 rounds. I think if he's already getting pressure for not performing in majors, going to a place where he owns a course record and loves, the pressure's going to be through the roof. So don't know that's going to make a diamond.
Yeah, Dogga's right. Yes, home and can't win. I love Max Home. I'm fully on board. But as our great friend John Waller said, he's a listed Group 3 horse in Group 1 company here. So I just don't think, until he shows something in a major, I've been burnt back in majors before, think he could step up. He hasn't. And to be honest, though, I think the home, I think is probably more of a distraction than not. So I'm kind of just not a fan of, like, it's in LA, so this is going to suit him well. Yeah, no one's talking about Patrick Cantlay. Well, Patrick Cantlay did hold that course record, 62 there before. So, there's not much difference between there and Cantlay's playing significantly better golf. So, leave me at home.
Yeah, but we don't like Cantlay. That's why. We all like him. We don't like Cantlay.
All right, quick look at the first round leader market, and we'll get Dogga's tips here. This is his wheelhouse. Scheffler, Koepka, Rory McIlroy, starting at sort of the $17 quote through to about $26. Cantlay's there. Hovland's a fast starter. Traditionally, you got Spieth, Homer, Xander, Cam Smith, Morikawa, all of the same names, but you get that inflated price because it's a bigger lottery. What are your lotto numbers here this week, Dogga, for your first round leaders?
That's it. It's a lottery, and you're a massive chance to get a split pot. So for me, it's about playing the averages. We don't have to worry about a difference in the wave morning or afternoon. It looks like it's going to be perfect all week and definitely all day Thursday. Looking at 5 picks as usual, a couple of them right at top pointy ends. Cam Smith, I can see leading. I mean, it's hard with a lot of the live data not being around, but I mean, he was top 2 in first round scoring averages 2022 and 2021. Scheffler's number 1 right now, so I'll have him as well. Rahm's second this year. He was second in 2021. So those 3. And then the 2 that are probably a little bit outside of that, Adam Scott and Sung Jae Im. So those guys are right up there in their 60s and 50s. So, yeah, Smith, Scheffler, Rahm, Scott, and Im. I mean, you really only want to, you can have a little bit on each of them, and even if you get a split pot, you're going to be in front if one of them gets up.
Yeah, you're getting massive odds to play there. All right, let's go into the serious stuff. So we'll go for you, Toprope first. Your winner, your next best, and then the roughies to look out for.
Yeah, winner, Victor Hovland. I made the case for him early. Next best, close between Morikawa and Hatton. Probably go nose to Morikawa there. Roughies, few on throwing up here. Gary Woodland, I think it's a chance. Age is a worry, but I think he's very well suited here. And then Keith Mitchell, a huge price. I think he's right. He drives very well. 5th strokes on the feet, 3rd total driving. Best of the Europeans, Victor Perez from the DP World Tour. I think he's a very underrated player. And ranks second on the DP World Tour in par 3 scoring. Mito. We're back again. But sticking with Mito, his live stats, limited live stats you can get. 1st in greens and reg, 8th in par 3 scoring, 4th driving distance, and 8th in scrambling. So a bit there. But the man I'll tip kind of official on the board is Sahith Theegala. Had a great West Coast run earlier in the year. He's 9th. He's 9th in the Masters, 6th in the Genesis. All suits out very well. 11th in par 3 scoring. Ticks a lot of boxes for me in terms of the profile. So I'm going to go with Theegala. As a blind chance to win, but we'll be playing around the kind of top 10, top 20 marks with him.
Seems a massive price, 151. Oh yeah, sort of about. I think you get somewhere near 150s early in the week. Theegala. So it's been a bit in the abyss, but as you say, if he can return to that West Coast form, he's definitely a runner that you could easily have a small bet on for a massive result. Dogga, Scotty Scheffler's your best next, and roughies outside the market.
Yeah, look, for after Scotty, because I'm taking the fave, I'll be really shopping that 50 to 100s. So my next 2 that I'll be really quite invested in will be Justin Rose is around 50 to 1, Hideki at 65s. Both guys. Justin Rose has been playing an exceptional golf, and Hideki seems to be just finding a little bit after an injury. I'm never ever confident on Aussies this week, but I actually don't mind Adam Scott. I think Toprope really sewed it up quite well before. Augusta, Riviera, a bloke that's won both. He's playing good golf, 80s. That's a good price for me. And maybe someone like Siwoo Kim, he's been playing quite good. All those guys, they're sitting at 4s and up to about 650 for top 10 as well. For an absolute bolter who I don't expect to win, but if he does, I'll definitely take the credit. Andrew Putnam, he's $6 to finish top 20. When I ran my data, he ranked like 5th in the field, and I nearly fell over. I don't know why, but when I looked at the numbers, it's all there. He hasn't exactly had any exceptional performances of late, but the data says he might go well. So for a top 20 at $6, I'd take Putnam.
So there you have it from the experts. I'll put my mug analysis on the line. I think it's a very simple tournament this year, and I think I've just pushed some chips in after a good result at the last one. I think Brooks should run favourite here. Just love his attitude at the moment. And then you've got Victor Hovland. I think the market's just not respecting his form. And as Toprope sort of mentioned, this is someone who's been knocking the door down, and he can break through for his first one here. And then I think Cam Smith and Max Homer have got the right sort of games and starting to can peak here at this tournament. And I think all 4 blokes that I've had a bit of a crack at here, I think they're in the right sort of headspace. So I do take on board what the boys have said, but I got big reservations about someone like Scheffler, even though he's got Tiger's putter. I might even have to go and buy one of those putters.
I've got one. I'll sell it to you, mate. It's sitting in the cupboard. I never use it, so I'll sell it to you for a good price.
Oh, I'll have to. I think we might have to. We'll have to have a side bet somehow. Scotty Scheffler. Be interesting to see how that studies, and the big gear change could be braces off for Matty Fitzpatrick at 50-1 there. That is the other one. So I think we've tipped enough in the winner market and first round leaders. Let's look at the top Aussie. Cam Smith's the favourite here, $3.40. He'd be the way I'm playing. Jason Day, $3.80. He's got the new Tiger Woods designed TaylorMades, which is interesting gear change there. Adam Scott, $5.50. Minwoo Lee, $7. Cam Davis, $9. Ryan Fox sneaks in there as top Australasian, actually. $9.50. He was pretty good at the Masters. And Lucas Herbert, $12. And then Carl Phillips is $56. Any value around the top Australasian market, Dogga? Anyone you want to play?
I'd definitely be taking Adam Scott in that field. Won't be Koala Carl. I'd love to see Koala Carl make the cut. That'd be good to see. But yeah, for me, I know Scoot, you've picked Cam Smith, but I'd be taking Dale Scott and definitely favouring Scott.
Toprope.
Yeah, I'm with Scott in this one, the Riviera Augusta link for me, and probably Cam Davis to be my other one at a price. I think he can obviously belt the ball, but I think he's an intelligent golfer with some good long irons and show that I kill. So Scott is the standout for me, but Davis, I'll be laying Jason Day.
Okay. Any left field prop markets there, Toprope, or is there a player that you want to go after in sort of head-to-heads?
Well, is there some the prop markets? Or how long can we do this podcast?
Sounded small.
In terms of the head-to-heads, I don't think you're going to find a better tournament head-to-head than Brooks, $2.22 to beat Rory at TopSport. I think that's a great one there. Getting a bit more left field, top senior, I like Padre Carrington. I think he can knock off Phil. Top Irishman, we're taking on Rory again. I don't mind Shane Lowry this week. I think he's a good chance there. Top live player, Brooks is obviously a deserved favourite, but I think there's some value on Neiman. He's won the Genesis before, and Pereira. So up there, 12 and 13 apiece. And last one to dish out, top Canadian. There's 5 or 6 Canadians here. Corey Connors is this there, but Mackenzie Hughes profiles pretty well here. He's done some well on some Gil Hanse designs, finished 24th at the 2022 US Open as well. So, I'll have a little something on him for top Canadian around the $7.50 mark.
Outstanding. And make sure you're betting in shillings there and gamble responsibly. For your 800 bets Toprope, that's just a direct message to you as much as all our listeners at home. Let's have a look at the TopSport early bets and see which way the smart money's going there. Colin Morikawa's the first one, $200 at $38. So Toprope likes that bet. John Rahm, here's another one that's in the mix, $500 at $10. Justin Rose, this could be Dogga's bet, $200 at $61. And this looks like lay of the year, Rory McIlroy, $700 at $17. I might snip Tristan there and ask if I can hold a couple $100 of that and take on the risk myself. But I'd be absolutely shocked if Rory can get home. But it'd be good to see him turn it around mentally, because I think if Rory's playing killer golf, I think it's good for the game. Good for the story. It'll just get golf Twitter absolutely roaring. But it's been another good show, and fingers crossed that we've shined a light on the winner for you guys listening at home, and hopefully we haven't confused or grayed you up too much. But I think for the season we're going okay, and the next thing we'll be over at the Open Championship, the British Open next. So can't wait for that one, and who knows what'll happen in the world of golf between now and then.
No one. Absolutely no one, mate. It's been a big week.
Outstanding. Good luck on the weekend, guys, and thanks for all your insights.
Wonderful chatting, guys.
Cheers, boys.
Big thanks to our sponsors, Punting Form, TopSport, and the Comics Lounge, and we'll see you next time.